This following question has been asked so many times. How can I speed up my twin flame process? How can I speed up the time when I'm alone to that time when I'm with my twin flame? In this video, I'm going to answer your question. Hi, my name is Rita Simon and you are watching the series Awaken, where I take mystical concepts and my mystical experiences and translate them with science. So the answer is going to be very simple but not as easy to execute, and it's inner work. You have to work on yourself, because when you understand what twin flame connection really is, you also understand that when you do your work on your own, it's more likely that you are going to connect with a twin flame, and also it's more likely to connect with a twin flame who is also healed. Because look, I will be honest, I don't believe that there is one single person for you and you have to find that one single person. My understanding is that we are at certain stages of our awakening and you are going to connect with someone, and it can be anyone. It's not person specific, it's actually awareness specific. Who is your opposite? And the wound is going to be the same. If you have been watching my previous videos, I explain what the twin flame connection is, that the wound is the same and you created an overcorrection on one side, and your twin flame is the same, that the wound is the same, overcorrection on the other side. So the wound is exactly the same, that's where you mirrored. So your insecurities and your weaknesses are going to be the same, but you have two opposite personalities. And that's what your nervous system tries to bring together. That you learn what this person knows, the other person learns what you know, and you actually integrate the two. So you take down this unhealthy, because this is unhealthy. It's too out of the middle. And that's why the two opposites attract, because this creates zero. And that's what your nervous system tries to do. That when you learn this time, that helps you heal this inner child that is this deep down. So this goes down, this goes up, and it becomes equal and integrated. And that's when you can have a Kundalini awakening. That's when I had my Kundalini awakening, when I did that. I am going to leave links below in the description box where I explain the runner and the chaser and this integration a lot deeper. I just don't want to repeat myself. So what you have to know about this inner work, that I just know from my experience that when I started changing and I started thinking differently and see the world differently, that's when I got connected to my very first twin flame. My very first twin flame was actually just someone who dragged me even deeper in myself. And I got connected to very deep childhood wounds, and I started to change. Like, I changed so much, and that's what I can tell you about twin flame connections, that they are extremely transformational if you know how to look. If you don't know how to look, these are going to be very abusive. And we didn't stay together, and many twin flame connections are actually not, you are not meant to stay together. The core concept of twin flame connection is that they unite with your disintegrated part. And sometimes you stay with the person, sometimes you don't. You can never know. And then even when I was on my own after the first twin flame connection, I did a lot of inner work. I was thinking quite a lot how to do things differently. What was wrong with me? What was wrong with the world? What was wrong with what I did? How to do things differently? I also wanted to find myself. So that was probably one key thing in this whole process, that I had enough of doing what I learned and doing what others thought I should do, because I was very social. So always agreed with everyone and always followed the rules. And I realized I've seen a pattern that I didn't really know who I was. And I started to really miss that part of myself, that who the hell I was, what did I like, because I just always went along with everyone. And actually for me, it's going to be different for everyone, but for me, this was the key, that there was this something I've seen, a pattern that I kept repeating, and I tried to break that pattern. And the way I did was I started to do lots of things and focus on what I like. So I tried to connect with myself, and I really focused on, I would say, in that part when I was between the two twin flames, to understand the opposite gender. I was very into relationships, so that was true even before the first one. And I really wanted to understand how guys saw life, what their issues were, what their weaknesses were, what their biggest fears were. So instead of trying to see what's wrong with guys or what they like or how could I get them, I really focused on their weaknesses. And that's when I went through a lot of change to see that wall falling down. And that was actually my own insecurity, that I was really intimidated, I can't even pronounce the word, of them, because always they try to look these really puffed up people that, oh, we know everything, nothing hurts us. So when I could really see their core, that's when I started to see them very differently. And then I started to see my own weaknesses as well, that we females, we are really puffed up as well, but in a very different way. And I really went through a lot of changes, and that's when I attracted or got attracted, or life brought us together. It doesn't really matter how we phrase it, to my second twin flame connection, and that took me even deeper. My experience was that it felt like as if somebody took my body, and there was this different person in me. It changed me so much, and it was a very weird experience, and I didn't understand what was happening. And only when I overcame these things, I realized that this is actually that child self, that part of the nervous system got up, and it's like it got a second chance to live. And all of those things I couldn't see during my childhood and I couldn't solve in my childhood, they got a second chance in this life to relive them and create a different body-mind integration, to see the same wound, the same hurt very differently, and learn self-love. And this is what twin flame connections are about, because these are attachments. So the attachment is in the nervous system, and that's exactly the same as between child and parents. And you relive that attachment in your adulthood as well. And if you create a different body-mind connection, you are not going to be as hurt as a child, because when you are a child, you don't have the cognition yet, because it takes nearly 25 years to have a fully functioning brain. So when you are a 3-year-old or 4-year-old, you don't understand why your parents behave the way. But when you are an adult, you have the capacity, if you really learn a little bit about yourself, about psychology, about others, that people, the way they react, there is a lot of in them, like it's a reflection on them, but it's also a reflection on you as well, in the way that they try to respond to you, but in their own way. So to really speed up this process, even just to find a person, or when you are with this person, it's going to be the same again. You have to really do your inner work. Shadow work is a very good way to look into those hidden parts you don't see, what triggers you, what makes you angry, what makes you feel really negative about yourself or about others. And the other big thing is going to be the 4 attachment types. They are very helpful because they talk about those childhood wounds, how they manifest in our adult life when we are in relationships. And I'm going to leave a link in the description box below that leads you to my blog, and it explains very quickly these 4 attachment types. and it also has a link to a free in the blog to a free mini course if you want to do it. It's on Udemy. See you in my next video.